Today I want to share with you that my book, Where We Dream the Single Dream, Quest for Divine Feminine, the Soul, is featured in this month Shift Network magazine and online journal magazine. I've put up a link below, so if you haven't checked it out yet, then perhaps have a look. Because of this sort of exciting news for me, at least, I'd like to read a chapter for you from my book. I'll give you a little background of my life at that time. I was living in Perth. This is around 1993. I recently started a new job and I was earning a lot more money, a new career really. I moved to a fancy address and I should have been happy. I should have been, according to our TV values, to the values that we are bombarded with every day, the materialism, I should have been satisfied, but I wasn't. I was miserable. I was deeply depressed. That even though I thought I had everything, something was missing, and I kept on being cold inward, deeper and deeper inward, and what I wanted to know is, there must be more to life than what is on offer outside in society. And I had this question in my mind, and, who am I? There must be more to me as well. So I stayed with this question. I used to pray every night, asking for help from within, and saying, that there must, who am I really? I always felt that there's more, there's much more, much deeper level to my psyche than I was led to believe. And one night, I still remember this very vividly, one night the soul finally answered. And I'll read to you the events as it unfolded on that night. Somehow I knew that it was important to stay with the question, who am I? So every night I prayed in my own awkward way, asking, what is the purpose of my life? Who am I? I learned later in my life that to fulfill your life's destiny, there's nothing special that you really need to do, but wholeheartedly turn inward to the soul. And the soul will not only make that possible, but also look after you until it happens. Although during that time of my life of turning more and more inward, the time of the nightly dream adventures, I went through my everyday duties as if on remote control. I did what I had to do at work, returned home, eat, and then fell into an exhausted heap on the bed, already in anxiety about the next day. I continued to pray every night. I prayed so hard and kept on repeating my question that one night, without any prior warning and to my absolute astonishment, I woke up, or rather I am awoken by a luminous presence in my room, and it happened like this. Opening my eyes, consciously knowing that I was awake, I saw the room filled with a soft white glow. I sensed that someone or something was in the room with me, standing right behind me. Suddenly, I froze with fear, thinking, there can't be anyone else here, I live alone. And yet I saw this light, this soft white glow behind me. It took my whole will and all the effort of my muscles to force myself to turn around. But turn around I did. And right there, at the edge of my bed, was standing, like so many years ago, in fact 12 years, what I intuitively knew as the source of my inner voice. The mysterious woman standing at the edge of my bed in the middle of the night was self-luminous, as old as time, and amongst her long flowing hair, she floated in the air, bee-like, death-like, a wonder. She wore a long, bright white gown, which was self-luminous. This made this eternal goddess glow with the most incredible white light, not blinding but soft, like a garden lamp or like a full moon on the clear night. This feminine mystery of the moonlight simply looked at me with her dark, soft and warm eyes, spoke nothing, and either by accident or by design, her white hand inside a long dress sleeve ever so slightly touched my right hand. This seemed to relax all my anxiety. And the mystery lady then leaned closer to my face while ever so gently blowing into my nose. What happened next can't be put into words. I can't describe the mystic experience, for it's beyond all speech, and all that can be said about it is that it was bliss, a sublime event of a trance-like state of experience. Her breath filled me with unimaginable lightness. It radiated a sublime feeling of tingling or sweet fizzing energy running through my body, filling all my muscles with its buzzing and mysteriously re-energizing my nervous system. And in that moment of rapture, all my fears, all the plans, all the earthly concerns, and whether I would live or whether I would die, was brushed aside, and all I wanted was more of her breath, more of this sensation of love as ecstasy. This trance-like state seamlessly led to the feeling of all the aches and pains of my body, all its physical limitations of my material self, simply and spontaneously as a flower unfolding from itself, faded away, and there was nothing left but the feeling of effervescent freedom, a velvet and painless release. For a moment, I felt my body stiffen and I couldn't move, which frightened me a little, but almost immediately this hardening dropped away too, and ever so simply, like a kite suddenly lifted by a gentle breeze, I felt nothing but velvet release, tingling freedom, and having been lifted out of the vehicle of my soul, the physical body of my lady soul, I saw that while my frame remained on the bed, I floated above it. I can't tell you how long this ecstasy lasted. To me, it felt like forever. I experienced this in my childhood before, where, while lying in bed, I would hum loudly and rock to this inner song rhythmically until I felt the bed beneath me drop away, and freeing myself from the body, I fell through to another dimension. Because of our contemporary life, which doesn't value any much more shamanic experiences, I simply forgot all about it, but now I remembered. I remembered the incredible freedom that came with this trance-like state of ecstasy, where once the body and its survival needs are dropped, we are what we really are, this self-luminous light, this bubbling energy of life. And I knew that in this state of pure consciousness, also freed from its vehicle, the body, I could do anything if only I wanted to. I could walk through the walls or fly to the moon. I could explore a galaxy or the smallest of the smallest particles, even see the secret workings of a proton at the center of an atom. And then, much too soon, it was all over. The trance-like tingling ended, and I felt dropping back into my body, the tightening of the muscles, and then my own heaviness on the bed. The light of the mystery woman simply turned off, like someone flipped a light switch, and I don't remember more. The only way to endure and find meaning in this shallow and meaningless world is when you find deep meaning within you. Then this inner meaning helps you to know how to begin the change from within, which is the real change that transforms the world. Now that I rediscovered this deeper meaning to life, this self-luminous lady for a meeting with whom, even if it's just once more, I would be questing ever deeper inwards for many years to come. Now, what is really important to understand here is that you must find love. You must love your spirit or your soul more than anything that can be offered to you in society, in the outside world. Only then are you able to experience this dropping of the body, which is really the out-of-body experience. And it's only then that you can actually quest deeper inward. You go inward and then deeper inward to that collective level of our psyche, of the mind. The collective unconscious, like I said before, the quantum field, or mind at large, or the many different ways, the soul. It's a mythological dimension in which I actually share many of these experiences in the book as well. There's the spiral initiation, where I'm again taken by the same presence, by the same spirit, through a huge vortex-like structure underwater, through to the other side. There is, of course, the cave initiation, where she finally takes me inside to this timeless cave where grows the tree of life. It's the same tree under which Buddha sat. It's the same tree upon which Jesus climbed to be one with the Father. It's the same tree upon which all shamans climb to the apex to directly experience the deity, the holy, the divine. Not only just to see it, but the very few, like Al-Halaj, actually went through and became the flame. For which, when he said, me and the Father are one, he was killed, crucified. So for many centuries we were not allowed to say these things, that you are God, or I am God, you're God, everything else is divine. This was heresy. And many people have lost their lives, whether it was Al-Halaj or Giordano Bruno or the witches. Millions upon millions of people were killed. Only now can we actually speak about this, our own experiences, our deep mystic experiences of going beyond the veil of death, the veil of time, veil of culture, to what lies there in that ground of being, of who you really are, what we really are. One consciousness incarnating itself in a infinite number of ways in every single human being, in every single living being. So what is really important to the many of you who are really, some of you are still following me, and some have read the book and some haven't, and the many of you that are liking, for instance, my work on Facebook and so on. And some of you actually ask, well, how do you do this? How do you go beyond to your own really deep mystic experiences? And I'll always reply the same way. You have to love your inner life. You have to love the self, the soul, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, your divine part, more than anything that the society can offer to you. That includes, if you're if you're depressed, see what happened to me. I was depressed and I used my depression to my advantage. I simply let go of the life, let go of what was, calling me outside. I didn't care anymore if I lived or died. That's when it happens. And that's why people will take psychedelics Because in our Western society, we are so caught up in extroverted activities in the outside world that we need something really, really strong to pitch us out, to leave the body and its survival instincts and its needs, so that you can actually have a deeper mythological experience of what is really going on beyond that wall of time. So anyway, this is just to the few of you that are still watching me on YouTube. And by the way, if you find the channel useful, and if you like my talks, to help the channel, please like or even subscribe. It always helps, and it always helps me as well to know that there's actually someone viewing my videos, and so on. And so if you haven't had a look in the Shift Network, or you don't even know what Shift Network is, I didn't know what Shift Network was. I remember someone years ago mentioning it to me, the Shift Network, Shift Network this, Shift Network that. But it turns out it's a really large community of spiritually minded people all around the globe. And they have the website, and there are famous faces there like Deepak Chopra and many others, which I don't remember the names now. Quite a few Jungians, I think. So, and it's a community of around about 3.5 to 4 million people. And the magazine where the book is featured this month, it's called Catalyst. So like I said, I've put a link to it. So if you please check it out, let me know what you think. And that's it for now. Thank you.